Hey guys, it's Jen from Homestead How. In today's episode, I'm going to show you how to make these Homestead homemade gifts. I'm really excited how these turned out. In today's episode, I'm going to show you how to make cookies in a jar with 4 different recipes. 3 cookie recipes and 1 chocolate brownie recipe. So let's get started. Okay, so this is going to be the absolute easiest cookies in a jar that you're going to make. So you're going to need a mason jar, and then you're going to need a cake package, and I'm using this Fudge cake package. And then also you're going to need something to go with it. So I have these white baking morsels. So all you're going to do for this first one is take your mason jar. I already washed it and cleaned it. It's completely dry. You're going to want to take it, and you're just going to want to, I'm going to try this way first. I have a little funnel, and I'm just going to pour it in because I don't want it to get all over the place. So I'm just going to take the mix and pour it in. Okay, and then I'm just gonna hit it a little bit, and then I'm gonna take my white morsels, and it says to do about a cup, but I'm gonna do a cup and a half. Which is almost the whole bag. So then I'm gonna just carefully drop these in here. And then you can push them down to make them fit. And take the ones that I dropped and put them in. But there you go. I mean, it's the simplest cookies in a jar that you could possibly make. So here's the first one. And I'll leave instructions below how to do it, but this was the first one. You can add anything you want. You can do chocolate or M&Ms or whatever you want to put in here, but that is the first one, so that one is done. Okay, so the next one I'm going to do is pretty much similar to this. So I'm going to take a clean jar that's already dried, and I'm going to take my super moist yellow cake mix, and I'm going to put it in. I'm going to try without the funnel this time and see how it goes. And then you want to do the same thing. You can use just chocolate chips if you want. You can use M&Ms. I think I'm actually going to try some chocolate chips. So I'm going to use my measuring cup again. This is about a cup and a half of chocolate chips. So I'm just going to put those in. Just give it a little push down just as well. And then that is the second one. I mean, this is the easiest way you could go for a present. I'm going to give it as Christmas presents. I'm going to wrap them all up and give them all as Christmas presents. But there you go. It's as simple as that. You put a bow around it, and then you put the instructions on the outside of it, which I will leave below. So let's work on the next one. So for the next one, we're going to take a bowl, and then we're going to measure out 1.5 cups of flour. So here's my 1.5 cups. A spoon thick. Everything's kind of full. I'm gonna grab a knife. And I'm gonna put this in the bowl. And then with this, I want to put a teaspoon of baking powder. So I have a half a teaspoon here, so I'm going to use 2 of these and add that together. And then I need a half a teaspoon of baking soda. I'm going to put all that together, and then you want to stir it up really well. Okay, so now my mixture is all stirred together. I'm going to take my canning device that my daughter actually told me about, and I'm going to put it in here, and it's going to make it really easy so that it doesn't spill anywhere. That worked much better, so thank you, Kate, for that. Then I'm just going to take it, hit it down a little bit, and then I'm going to take a cup of M&Ms. So I have a bag here of M&Ms that I bought, and I'm just gonna take a cup of it out. So here's 1 cup. And then I'm gonna use my thing again and put it on here, but I'm gonna do it kind of carefully and slowly and kind of on an angle because I do not want them all to fall through to the bottom. Going slowly. Because you want layers and you want to be able to see your layers as well. So there's 1 layer, or actually 2 layers done. So you want to do the next one. So the next part you want to do is add your brown sugar. You need 1/3 cup of brown sugar. And you want it lightly packed. So I'm just going to use the side of my container. And then I'm going to use my canning thing again. And lightly put it in there. And I'm going to take a spoon and just spread it out a little bit. Not packing it down too hard. So the next step you want to do is take 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. Take this, use my spoon again because my sugar is kind of full. There we go. And then gently pour this in here as well, trying to make it even on each side. Wow, that looks beautiful already. Okay, so since I have a little bit of extra room at the top here, I don't like that, and I want to add a little bit of extra M&M. So I'm just going to take a few M&Ms and put a little bit extra at the top here. Again, going lightly because I don't want that to go through to the sugar. Just gives it a little extra layer. There. And then once it's done, you just put the cover on, and screw it on lightly, and there you go. You got your own cookies in a jar M&Ms. Okay, so for the next one, it's just gonna be regular chocolate chips. So it's pretty much the same process as the last one. So we're gonna do 2 cups of flour. There's 1. 2 cups of flour. 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. So here's a 1/2. Just a little. And then a full tablespoon, so 2 of these, of the baking powder. And then we're gonna mix it all together. And then put it into our jar. Okay, so now that you have your flour, and you're gonna need a cup of chocolate. I'm gonna use a cup now and then another cup later. So here's 1/2 cup. Make a little bit of a mess. Use my thing and drop it gently so it doesn't fall all the way to the bottom of your jar, and I'm just turning as I go to kind of get each side. Then I'll use another 1/2 cup. And then the same thing is poured in. And turn as you go. Make it look a little nicer, and you can see the layers in it. Then I'm going to need a cup of brown sugar. So here's my 1/2 cup again, and I'm gonna pack it in the container. So here's a 1/2 cup, and then I need another 1/2 cup. take my spoon, kind of push it down a little bit. Pack it in there just a little. Give it a little bit more room. So on top of your brown sugar, you're gonna want a 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. So again, this little thing comes in very handy. Put that in there. And then I'm going to use the rest of the chocolate chips, so I need another cup. So here's a cup, and I'm just gonna fill it. And add if I need to, but again, you just wanna put it in slowly so it doesn't go all through the sugar. And then if you get stuck at the top like that, you just go in and you push it down a little bit. Making sure your hands are clean before you do this. Put the rest in. And there you go. And you just add the cover to it. So there are 4 simple ways of making cookies in a jar. And I will leave at the bottom the recipe for the rest of it with the butter and the vanilla and everything else that you need to it. But here's one. Here's another one. Here's our M&Ms. And then our cake mix with our vanilla or our white chocolates. So those look so good. All right, so for the last part of my project is I am going to do this. I have a little cutout here that tells people how to make it. And then I also put some fabric on the top so it looks really nice and cute. So it makes it a nice present instead of just giving it to them bare like this. It's just a little extra to do. So I'm just going to take some extra fabric that I had laying around from a different project and then just cut a little piece off. I don't really have any size in mind. I'm just gonna cut some off. And I will take the top part of my jar off. Make sure this part's on nice and tight. And take my fabric and just put it over tightly and then screw it back on. Not too tight though. And then I take a little piece of string and just tie it around. And then I'll take my cutout piece. I just got these, I found them online. It's just directions on how to do it. And I'll just put a little hole in the top of it. And then I'll just put it right through. I'll put the little string right through the hole. And then for the edges here, just to make it look a little nicer, as I just go around and just trim the square pieces off here. Again, no right or wrong, just kind of make it look a little bit nicer. But that is it. I really love how these turned out. I think they're pretty dang cute. I hope you liked the tutorial. I hope you learned something from it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. But happy holidays, everyone. Please subscribe if you haven't already.